welcome back to the deep dive. If you're a creator documenting your travels, maybe a vlogger trying to squeeze a huge trip into a short clip, or even prepping a client pitch,
Yeah.
well, you've probably felt this frustration. You need that slick, animated travel route. You need it fast, and you definitely don't want to spend hours battling keyframes in some pro software.
Right. And the market is just swamped with options, isn't it? You've got everything from pricey subscriptions to these really limited mobile apps.
Exactly. It's total information overload. You end up stuck just trying to figure out which tool actually gets you that nice-looking shareable video, the fastest and ideally cheapest.
Well, our sources really help cut through that confusion. Today's deep dive zooms in on one specific tool, MapAnimationMaker.com. It's browser-based, dedicated to this task. So our mission here is kind of two-parter. First, figure out what makes it unique, its real value, and second, stack it up against 5 big competitors. We're talking mobile apps all the way up to broadcast tools.
Basically giving you the fast track to knowing which tool fits your specific need, whether that's speed, quality, or, super high-end control.
And let's just drop the TLDR right here at the start, because honestly, it shapes everything else we're going to talk about.
Okay.
We hear free all the time, right? But there's always a catch, usually.
Always.
The big takeaway from our sources on MapAnimationMaker.com is that it offers something genuinely rare: free, smooth HD route animations. Shareable ones.
Okay.
And the clincher, the sources confirm it pumps out those 1080p videos with absolutely zero watermark. None.
Well, hold on. I got to push back there. In the creative world, free usually means like junk quality, maybe 480p resolution, or massive watermark plastered right across it. Where's the catch? Where's the paywall?
See, that's the interesting part. It seems to operate on what you might call a zero-friction model. The sources suggest there isn't a hidden paywall because the tool is laser-focused. It's built for speed and simplicity, not trying to be a massive, feature-packed suite.
Okay, zero friction. Like a simple tool that does one job really well.
Exactly. So let's look at what this zero-friction commuter car, as you might call it, actually does. First off, it's browser-based.
Right.
Which sounds simple, but it's actually a big deal. No installs, no plugins you need to worry about, no admin permissions.
So you could use it on like a lockdown work computer or even a Chromebook.
Precisely. Instant access, you can whip up a route, check it, tweak it, all in seconds. Really fast iteration.
So it's specialized. It's basically a route builder. You put in your locations, start, and maybe some stops in between.
Yep, and the app just figures out the path and animates it smoothly. Plus, for storytelling, you can add markers and labels at key points.
Oh, that's handy. Like for chapter markers in a YouTube video or pointing out highlights in a presentation.
Exactly, makes it much clearer. And the visual style is designed to be instantly familiar. It's positioned as a Google Maps style route animation.
Okay, so people immediately get it. They recognize the look and can focus on the journey itself, not trying to figure out some weird map style.
Right. And then back to the output, the sources really stress that combination. HD, 1080p resolution, and a completely clean export, no logos, no fuzziness.
Just ready to drop into YouTube, Reels, TikTok, presentations, whatever.
Spot on. So who's this really for? The sources point to creators and teams where speed is absolutely key.
Like travel vloggers needing quick, consistent map shots without spending ages on graphics.
Them, definitely. Also, maybe agency or social media teams needing a fast A to B visual for a campaign. Even teachers, event organizers showing a race route, nonprofits. Anyone needing to show a path clearly and quickly without fuss.
Okay, so it prioritizes speed, simplicity, and zero cost over, say, hyper-realistic 3D or tons of customization.
That's the core idea. Consistency and zero cost win out.
Right. So if Map Animation Maker is our reliable, free commuter car getting us from A to B, now we need to see how it stacks up against the luxury SUVs and maybe even the F1 race cars of the map animation world.
Let's do it. This is where that zero friction idea really gets tested, especially when you think about the time cost.
Okay, where do we start?
Let's start really simple. Mobile first. Think of this as the quick electric scooter you might grab. TravelBoast. Super popular mobile app, right?
Oh yeah, everyone's seen those. Really easy interface on the phone.
Yeah.
Cute little airplane or car icons. Perfect for banging out a quick Instagram story.
Exactly. Super convenient for mobile. But Map Animation Maker scores points in 2 key areas here. First, price. TravelBoast, it uses subscriptions, in-app purchases to unlock stuff.
Right, not truly free.
And second, workflow. If you edit your main videos on a desktop, which, let's be honest, most serious creators do, Map Animation Maker is browser first. You avoid that whole awkward process of exporting HD from your phone, then transferring it, then importing it.
Ugh, yeah. That phone to desktop round trip is a pain. Pure friction, like you said.
Okay, moving up a notch.
Yeah.
Let's call this one the reliable, maybe slightly fancier sedan. PictraMap, another web tool.
I think I've heard of that one. More customization, right? Different map styles, maybe music options.
Yeah, it gives you more control over the look, multiple map themes, music, even embed options for websites. It's more about aesthetics.
But here's where it gets tricky, isn't it? That cost versus output thing. PictraMap gives you options, but haven't they historically gated the actual video export, the HD version you need, behind paid plans?
That's been the pattern, yes. So MapAnimationMaker might sacrifice some of those fancy themes, but it delivers the core need, that HD route video, completely free, straight away.
So if all you need is a clean line on a map, fast, MapAnimationMaker probably wins on speed to video.
Unbeatable for that specific task. Okay, now let's shift gears a bit into the more pro territory. Let's call this the luxury SUV, AvoMap.
Ah, okay. This sounds more serious. Polished, maybe 3D options.
Exactly. It's pro-leaning. Bridges that gap between simple 2D maps and more cinematic 3D looks. It can do smoother camera moves, exports in 4K, even 60 frames per second, plus branding options.
And it handles things like GPX and KML files. Now,
Yeah.
hang on, explain those again. For listeners not deep into mapping tech, TPX, KML, those are like the data tracks from my GPS watch or something.
Essentially, yeah. They're precise GPS data files. So if you hike a specific trail with a tracker or fly a drone along a set path, the GPX or KML file stores all the latitude, longitude, sometimes even elevation points along that route.
Gotcha.
AvoMap can import those files and create an animation that follows that exact path. Super important for accuracy if you're doing client work or detailed reporting on an expedition, for instance.
Okay, so AvoMap, power and precision, but it's not free, is it?
Nope, it works on a credit system. It's affordable for professionals who need those features, but MapAnimationMaker still wins on the simple price point, 0.
And honestly, for a quick social clip showing, like Paris to Rome, do you really need 4K, 60 VPs and elevation data? It feels like overkill sometimes.
It is. AvoMap is the choice when you genuinely need that visual fidelity or the accuracy of a GPX track. Otherwise, the simplicity of MapAnimationMaker is faster.
Right. Okay, two more big guns, the really high-end stuff.
Yep. First, the F1 race car of the bunch, Google Earth Studio.
The king. Unmatched satellite imagery, right? Those incredible swooping flyovers from space down to a city street.
That's the one. Broadcast-grade results, deep control over keyframes, truly cinematic potential using Google Earth's amazing 3D globe data.
But the catch.
Complexity and time. Huge learning curve. Earth Studio is free to use for non-commercial stuff, but mastering it takes serious dedication. You're talking hours to keyframe a really smooth, complex camera move and path.
Whereas MapAnimationMaker gives you a clean route animation in, what, minutes?
Pretty much. So you'd maybe use Earth Studio for that epic opening shot, that world-scale context.
The big wow moment.
Exactly, but for the simple A to B route drawing on the ground, probably overkill and too slow.
Okay, and the last one. You mentioned a broadcast machine.
Right. Think Mapcreator. This is serious kit. Professional newsroom and cartography software. We're talking fine-grained timeline control, integrating brand styles, parallax effects, 3D elements, and outputting up to crazy resolutions like 8K.
Okay, definitely not for your average YouTuber just showing their road trip.
Definitely not, and the cost reflects that. It's premium subscription software. Newsrooms, broadcasters, high-end agencies use this.
So the comparison with MapAnimationMaker here is pretty stark. Professional broadcast suite versus totally free web tool.
Exactly. You only reach for Mapcreator if you have those very specific high-end broadcast requirements like 8K or deep graphics integration. For a simple YouTube intro, MapAnimationMaker is the practical zero-cost choice.
Wow, okay, so that really lays out the landscape. From the quick mobile scooter right up to the F1 car and the broadcast truck.
And the core insight holds up, doesn't it? MapAnimationMaker is like that perfect commuter car. Gets the job done, a clean HD route quickly, and with zero cost.
All right, so let's dig into practical workflows then, because this idea of layering tools feels really important now. But I have a question. If I'm working for a big client, decent budget, doesn't using a free tool seem a bit unprofessional, even if the output is HD?
That's a fantastic point, and it touches on how we define professional today. Does the client care if you used a $500 piece of software or a free one, if the final result integrated into their $50,000 campaign looks perfect?
Probably not. They care about the result.
Exactly. The professional workflow now is often modular, smart. If the clean 1080p unwatermarked output from MapAnimationMaker slots perfectly into your edit, looks great, and saved you, say, 2 hours of animation time, that's a smart professional decision. The final quality is what matters.
It totally reframes it. It's about efficiency and the end product, not the price tag of every single tool. Okay, so let's look at those quick use cases for a standard YouTube travel video.
Yep, use that HD clip from MapAnimationMaker as your intro. Sets the scene perfectly. Maybe add a little whoosh sound effect as the line draws, or a ping when it hits a marker. Fast, clean, effective.
Okay. And for vertical video, Instagram Reels, TikTok.
Here, the editing after you export is key. Get that 1080p route animation. Then, in your video editor, speed ramble the middle part. Make that line draw super fast, and then freeze the frame right when the line hits the final destination.
Ah, so it's like zip, freeze,
Yeah.
and then your main footage starts.
Exactly. It's a high-impact transition into your B-roll. Very dynamic.
Nice. And for, say, a client pitch deck, a presentation.
Render the clean route, for sure, but maybe also grab a still frame of the final map with the route completed. Use that as a high-res image for the slide cover. And the sources suggest keeping any on-map labels really clear and concise for that professional look.
Good tip. Keep it clean. Now, we have to talk limitations, too. The commuter car can't do everything.
Absolutely. Because it's built for simplicity, MapAnimationMaker doesn't do 3D terrain visualization. It doesn't output 4K, and it doesn't natively import those GPX files we talked about.
Right.
But knowing the limitations is key to working smart. This is where layering comes in beautifully.
Okay, so walk me through it. If I do need that 4K output, or I need to show the elevation profile of a hike using GPX data.
Then you use the luxury SUV, AvoMap. But, and this is crucial, you only use AvoMap to render that specific segment that requires 4K or GPX.
Ah, so I don't use AvoMap credits for all my map shots, just the one or two high-end ones.
Precisely. You render that fancy 3D or 4K clip in AvoMap, then you cut it into your main edit alongside all the simple, fast, free routes you made with MapAnimationMaker. You're optimizing cost and effort.
Smart. Same logic for the big cinematic flyovers.
Yep. Need that dramatic swoop from space. Use the F1 car, Google Earth Studio for just that one shot, render it out, then immediately cut to your MapAnimationMaker clip for the tighter ground-level route details.
Best tool for each specific job within the edit. That's modular creation. I like it.
It's efficient. And the sources had a few pro tips for getting the best results, whichever tool you're using for the route itself. First, keep the routes relatively short and easy to follow. If you have a really long, complex trip, maybe break it into several shorter map animations instead of one long, potentially confusing one.
Makes sense. Readability.
Second, if you use these animations regularly, try to use consistent colors for your routes across different videos. Helps build a little visual brand recognition.
Subtle branding.
Nice. And a really practical editing tip. Practice cutting on motion. When your animation finishes, say landing on the final city marker, don't fade out. Cut immediately to your live footage or next graphic. Right at that moment, the animation stops moving.
Creates a smoother, more energetic feel.
Exactly. Much more professional than a slow fade or just holding on the static map for too long. Keeps the pace up.
This has been super insightful. Really breaks down a common creator problem and offers practical solutions.
Yeah, it's quite revealing. So to kind of wrap up the main finding, if your goal is getting a fast, clean, genuinely free animated route for your social content, YouTube videos, presentations, MapAnimationMaker.com looks like the top pick based on these sources. It's purpose-built for that simple, elegant HD route draw, does it quickly, lets you spend your time and potentially your money on the more complex bits elsewhere in your production.
Which brings us to that final provocative thought for you, the listener. Think about this. We now have these really good single-purpose tools like MapAnimationMaker that handle one specific, sometimes complex task really well, and they're free. When you can layer these free, high-quality components with perhaps more powerful paid software for other specific tasks, how does that change what you actually need in your toolkit?
Does being professional still mean having one giant expensive software suite that does everything okay? Or does it now mean having a smarter, layered workflow, using the best and often cheapest or free tool for each individual part of the job?
Something to definitely think about as you figure out your own creative process and budget. How can you be more efficient and modular? That's our deep dive for today.